5:13 in the morning local time. The ocean is completely flat. The air is not moving. Inside the aircraft carrier's control room, the quiet, steady sound of listening sonar fills the room. Green lines move slowly across dark computer screens. The watches are normal. Nothing is moving faster than it should. Then the sound changes. A sharp spike cuts through the background noise. Quick, not natural, impossible to mistake, a temporary signal. The word lands quietly, but everyone hears it. The sonar worker leans forward, eyes stuck to the screen. The contact doesn't act like sea animals. It doesn't drift. It speeds up. Another update. New contact, high speed, direction 274. No alarms yet, no lights, just voices calm and measured. The worker adjusts filters. The contact becomes clearer. A clean sound pattern appears. Mechanical, on the same on both sides on purpose. Then it happens. Weapon in the water. The room changes. Not panic, not noise, focus. Screens update at the same time. The contact's speed jumps, its depth stays steady. The direction holds. Someone says it flatly, almost like a doctor. Torpedo launch confirmed. On the bridge above, the carrier keeps her path. From the outside, nothing changes. No sudden turns, no reaction you can see. 80,000 tons of steel keep moving forward at steady speed, cutting a white line through blue water. Below decks, the clock starts. The battle screen redraws itself. A red arrow stretches outward from a point in the darkness below the surface, aimed straight at the ship. Distance is closing, time until impact, under 7 minutes. The answer hangs in the air. This is not a practice drill. There is no announcement, no siren. Every person in the room already knows what the numbers mean. The sonar worker keeps talking, voice steady, active guidance suspected, course correcting. That detail matters. This is not a dumb weapon, it's listening, it's adjusting. The officer on watch doesn't raise his voice. Condition 1, anti-submarine warfare. The words spread outward through the ship faster than sound ever could. Down on the flight deck, sailors freeze mid-step. Aircraft crews pause with hands on panels. The wind carries nothing but the sound of engines in distant water. No one runs inside. In the control room, more contacts appear. Background clutter stripped away, leaving only what matters. The torpedo's path is clean now, its speed is steady, its goal is clear, direction unchanged. The weapon wants the carrier. The captain arrives without ceremony. When he doesn't ask questions, he looks at the screen and nods once. Maintain course, and he says, that order lands heavier than any shouted command. Staying on course is not hesitation, it is geometry. Sudden moves too early would only make the solution easier for a smart torpedo already locked in. The carrier holds steady. The torpedo speeds up again, speed increasing, depth steady. On another screen, a watch person marks the water column. The sound profile suggests a heavyweight design, long endurance designed to sink large ships. Another update, closing fast, 6 minutes. The room is quiet except for voices and keys. Every word is exact, every second logged. The torpedo's seeker goes active. A new sound appears in the headphones, faint but impossible to mistake. A high-frequency pulse searching, active ping detected. But that's the moment when uncertainty disappears. This weapon isn't searching around, it isn't pretending, it's committed. The carrier still doesn't turn. Outside, the horizon looks the same as it did 5 minutes ago. Sunlight reflects off the water, the sky is empty. Inside the ship, the ocean has become a battlefield measured in meters and seconds. The battle screen updates again. The red arrow inches closer. Calculations refine themselves automatically. 5 minutes. The captain finally speaks again. Prepare countermeasures. Stand by. Stand by. Not yet. The torpedo corrects its path once more, adjusting to the carrier's wake pattern. It's learning. It's closing. The sonar worker breathes out slowly. No decoys launched, holding. Everyone understands why. Launch too early and the weapon adapts. Wait too long and there may be no second chance. This is the narrow edge where rules meet judgment. 4 minutes. The carrier still holds her line. Somewhere below the surface, metal races toward metal, guided by sound, speed, and purpose. And in the next moments, measured not in minutes but in heartbeats, everything is about to change. 5:16 local time. The torpedo is still running. Inside the control room, the plot tightens. The red arrow stays steady, but now there's something else. Small at first, then clear. A second pattern appears beneath the noise floor. New contact. The sonar worker says low frequency, slow mover. No one asks what it might be. Everyone knows what it has to be. The system begins peeling layers away. Temperature layers, sea life, background clutter, until only one sound fingerprint remains. Long tube-shaped engine pulses spaced with military exactness. Now the room leans in. Shooter contact developing. That changes everything. The torpedo is no longer just a threat. It's a clue. If you can track the weapon, you can trace the hand that threw it. The fire control team overlays the torpedo's path with likely launch angles. Angles collapse inward. A shaded cone forms on the screen. An invisible funnel pointing back into the deep. There, someone says quietly. A single point stays steady at the tip. Distance, several thousand yards. Depth, well below the temperature layer. Speed, very slow, it's hiding. The torpedo updates again, correcting slightly to the carrier's wake. The seeker is doing its job. The distance keeps shrinking. 4 minutes, 30 seconds. The captain studies the screen. No drama, no hesitation. Launch the helicopter. Above decks, rotors spin to life. The sound rolls across the water. Low, heavy, impossible to mistake. A helicopter lifts cleanly off the flight deck and angles away from the carrier, nose down, racing toward the shaded cone on the screen. Inside the control room, eyes split between two fights now. One weapon coming in, one hunter being hunted. The helicopter crew doesn't speak much. They don't need to. Their flight path is already drawn for them by the information flowing up from the ship. Dipping sonar in 2 minutes comes the calm call over the radio. The torpedo pings again, louder this time, active guidance confirmed. The room takes that in without comment. The carrier finally moves. Not a turn, not yet. Speed increases slightly, just enough to change the sound picture without showing panic. The wake gets thicker, the water behind the ship becomes more complicated. A noisier, harder to read. The torpedo reacts, weapon just corrected, sonar reports it's still locked. No relief, no disappointment, just information. 3 minutes. The helicopter arrives on station and hovers low, almost touching the surface. A cable drops. The sonar dome slips beneath the waves. Everyone waits. Second stretch, then contact. The helicopter worker says, "Solid return, direction matches shooter estimate." The shaded cone collapses into a dot. "This is him," someone mutters. The submarine doesn't move yet. It doesn't sprint. It doesn't dive. That's a choice. It's listening. It wants to know if the torpedo hits before it commits to escape. 2 minutes, 40 seconds. The torpedo's speed stays the same. Its path stays aggressive. It's confident. Inside the control room, another option flashes on the board. Countermeasures ready. A decoy standing by, everything prepared, still waiting. The helicopter sharpens its fix. The sonar picture gets clearer. Confirmed submarine contact, no change in speed. That detail lands hard. A submarine that doesn't move after firing isn't careless, it's on purpose. It believes the shot will land. The captain's voice cuts through the room. Shift priority. Shooter is now primary. That's the change. The carrier is still in danger, but the thinking has flipped. The threat is no longer just the weapon racing inward, it's the platform that can fire again. 2 minutes. The helicopter circles once, tight and controlled, keeping its sonar locked. The submarine's sound signature grows clearer with every pass. Engine type, shaft rhythm, everything is being recorded. The torpedo pings again, closer now. The battle screen updates in real time. The red arrow nears the carrier's defensive area. The blue marker over the submarine holds steady. Both paths move toward their endings. One of them is about to be interrupted. "Stand by," the captain says. The room doesn't breathe. 2 hunters, 1 target each, and only seconds left before one of them makes a deadly mistake. 5:19 local time. The torpedo crosses another distance ring. Inside the control room, the geometry tightens to a narrow hallway. The weapon is no longer searching. It is driving, steady, purposeful, committed. "Prepare decoys," the battle action officer says. The order moves without rush because rushing wastes time. On the screen, the carrier's projected wake fans out behind her. A complicated sound cloud shaped by speed, size, and sea conditions. The torpedo's seeker rides the edge of it, adjusting in small, the exact corrections. Deploy. After the carrier, countermeasures slip into the water, quiet, controlled, time to the second. They bloom behind the ship, creating false targets. Fake signatures designed to confuse, attract, pull the weapon off its line. For a moment it works. The torpedo hesitates, its path wobbles. The red arrow bends just slightly toward the decoys. Weapon turning, sonar reports. No cheers, no reactions. Everyone waits. The carrier holds course. The helicopter keeps its sonar locked on the submarine, hovering low, rotors beating the air into a steady roar. Then the torpedo changes again. Correction, sonar says. It's reacquiring. The red line snaps back toward the carrier's true wake. The decoys are rejected. That's the difference between theory and contact. This weapon has logic. It compares. It learns. Its countermeasures ineffective, the watch person says. There's no surprise in his voice, only confirmation. 1 minute 50 seconds. The torpedo speeds up slightly, making up for lost time. Its seeker pings again, stronger now, sharper. Inside the control room, the room grows quieter, not tense, just focused. Every person knows exactly where the edge is and how thin it's becoming. The helicopter crew adjusts position. Shooter remains steady, the sensor worker reports. No maneuvering. That detail changes the understanding. The submarine is still listening, still waiting. It hasn't committed to escape. It believes. The captain steps closer to the main screen. Helicopter, he says calmly. Mark shooter as hostile. Prepare to engage. There it is. No escalation language, no qualifiers, just a shift in intent. The helicopter responds with a single word. Roger. 1 minute 30 seconds. The torpedo is now inside the carrier's inner defensive geometry. The ship finally begins to maneuver. Not sharply, not violently, but firmly. The front swings just enough to break symmetry. Speed increases again. The wake thickens, curls, breaks into a more chaotic pattern. The torpedo reacts immediately. Weapon is correcting, sonar calls out. Depth change observed. It's working harder now, spending energy, making decisions faster, but it's still coming. Inside the control room, a different track becomes more noticeable. The submarine's signature grows clear with every second the helicopter holds contact. Its engine rhythm is logged, its sound profile is clean, disciplined, and now something else. Shooter noise increasing, the helicopter reports. The submarine has made its first real decision. It's moving. Not fast, not yet, but the change is clear. It knows it's been found. 1 minute. The torpedo is still the most immediate danger, but the balance is shifting. The submarine can no longer assume a clean escape after the shot. The captain's voice is steady. Engage the shooter. The order doesn't cancel the incoming threat, it reframes the fight. The helicopter begins its run, positioning with care, keeping sonar contact unbroken. The submarine responds late, too late, with a shallow turn, trying to slip sideways out of the sound cone. It's a mistake. The movement sharpens its signature. Contact solid, the helicopter says. Tracking maintained, 30 seconds. The torpedo's seeker pings again. Louder now, closer. Inside the control room, no one looks away. Then, weapon losing stability, sonar reports erratic corrections. Was the carrier's maneuvering combined with the increasingly chaotic wake is breaking down the solution. The torpedo is burning energy, chasing a picture that keeps changing. 15 seconds. The helicopter commits. Below the surface, the submarine hears it. New sounds, new pressure, impossible to mistake intent. The torpedo breaks its line one final time, overcorrects, then weapon lost lock, sonar says. The red arrow breaks apart, then dissolves. The incoming threat is gone. But no one relaxes because now the hunter knows it's being hunted. 5:21 local time. The torpedo is no longer a factor. That truth settles across the control room without celebration. No one says it out loud. The red path has vanished, but the room doesn't breathe out because the shooter is still there. On the battle screen, the submarine's marker begins to drift. Not slow at first, then more on purpose. Its speed increases just enough to be noticed. Shooter maneuvering, the sonar worker reports. Direction shift to the southeast. That's the first clear admission of reality from below the surface. The submarine is running, not sprinting, not panicking, just enough movement to slip away, to break contact, to disappear back into depth and noise. It won't work. The helicopter tightens its circle, lowering again, keeping the sonar dome steady in the water. Every pulse returns cleaner now, made louder by the submarine's own movement. Contact strengthening, the sensor worker says. Cavitation starting. That's the sound you don't want to make underwater. The submarine is pushing harder, trading silence for speed. The ocean punishes that decision instantly. Inside the control room, the screen redraws itself. Lubbert, the submarine's escape path becomes visible, predictable, boxed in by the carrier's escorts closing from a distance. Two surface ships increase speed, spreading wide to block open water. Their movement is exact, coordinated, silent. This is no longer defense, it's containment. The captain watches the geometry take shape and speaks once. Keep pressure. Don't rush. The helicopter adjusts again, shifting just enough to stay ahead of the submarine's path. The sonar picture locks into clarity. Hull length, engine rhythm, depth profile. The submarine turns sharper now. It's trying to break the sonar cone. It fails. Shooter turning hard, the helicopter reports. Contact maintained. Every move the submarine makes costs it more noise, more exposure. Every second it stays shallow gives the surface forces more information. The submarine dives fast. Thought depth increases quickly as it tries to trade speed for cover. The water pressure climbs, the temperature layers stack thick and cold. For a moment the contact weakens, then it comes back. Reacquired, the helicopter says calmly, still tracking. The ocean doesn't forget that easily. The captain nods once. Proceed. No explanation needed. The helicopter steadies, then commits. A weapon drops cleanly into the water, not rushed, not dramatic. It slips beneath the surface and begins its own quiet run. Inside the control room, two paths now take over the screen. One fleeing, one following. The submarine hears it almost immediately. Its engine spikes. Cavitation blooms violently now, echoing through the water column. The escape is no longer controlled. It's desperate. The submarine turns again, sharper, trying to outrun the geometry closing around it. It can't. The chasing weapon adjusts with cold exactness, matching the submarine's every move, correcting without hesitation. The distance between them collapses. On the surface, the carrier stays on course, unbothered, already sliding back into the background of the fight. This is no longer about protecting the ship, it's about sending a message beneath the waves. Shooter slowing, sonar reports, erratic movement. The submarine is out of options. Then, nothing. The contact stutters, breaks into pieces, dissolves into noise. The engine rhythm breaks apart, replaced by irregular echoes that don't match controlled movement. The room stays quiet. No confirmation, no assumptions. Seconds pass. Then the helicopter speaks again. Shooter no longer maneuvering, that's all. The surface ships ease their speed, holding positions, watching the water where the submarine last showed up. No sonar pings chase it now, no weapons follow. The message has already been delivered. Inside the control room, the screen clears. One path gone, one threat neutralized, not erased, not announced, simply removed from the equation. The captain turns away from the screen. Resume posture, he says. The carrier slides back into her original heading, engine steady, wake smoothing out behind her. Above decks, aircraft crews return to motion, hands moving again, routines restarting as if nothing had stopped them. Below the surface, the ocean closes over the last disturbance. No wreckage rises, no signal follows, just silence, and silence in this business is never accidental. 5:26 local time. The ocean returns to routine. Down on the carrier's bridge, the horizon looks unchanged. Flat water, pale light, nothing to suggest what passed beneath it minutes earlier. The ship holds steady on her original path. Engines settled back into cruise, wake narrowing into a clean white line behind her. Inside the control room, the mood is controlled, methodical. No one celebrates, no one reviews out loud. They log. Timestamps are entered, directions recorded, sound files saved and copied. Every second of the encounter is kept exactly as it happened. Stripped of emotion, stripped of interpretation, facts only. The sonar worker continues to listen, sweeping the same water where the submarine last showed up. The headphones carry nothing now but background noise, distant currents, sea life clutter, the slow breathing of the sea itself. Shooter remains silent, he says. That's not relief, it's confirmation. The helicopter circles once more, wide and on purpose, then climbs and heads back toward the carrier. Its mission is complete. No damage reports, no urgency in the voice, just procedure. On the flight deck, the aircraft settles onto steel as gently as it lifted from it. Chocks in place, rotors spin down. Sailors move in close, hands already at work resetting for whatever comes next. Below decks, the carrier's systems change back one by one from combat mode to monitoring. Screens dim slightly, alarms reset. The rhythm slows, but nothing is forgotten. The captain stands quietly at the edge of the control room, eyes on the cleared screen. Where there had been coming together arrows and closing angles, there is now empty water. One weapon fired, one response delivered. No follow-up contacts. No second launches, no further movement from below. The ocean has accepted the outcome. A final sweep confirms it. No additional contacts, sonar reports. The words are entered into the log and left there plain. Above the waterline, there is no press release, no broadcast, no visual proof for anyone beyond the ship's crew. The carrier does not change speed to make a point. It does not launch aircraft in defiance. It does not stay around. It simply continues. That is the message. In naval warfare, absence is often more meaningful than presence. Silence can be louder than force, and restraint, when paired with capability, carries weight that no signal flare ever could. Somewhere below the surface, a submarine is no longer part of the fight. Whether damaged, retreating, or simply listening in silence is not important. What matters is that it is gone and it did not fire again. Inside the control room, a junior watch person looks at the clock and marks the final entry for the event. The log closes not with a big statement, but with a line so plain it almost disappears among the information. Incoming torpedo defeated, shooter neutralized, carrier mission uninterrupted. That's it. No describing words, no conclusions. The carrier moves on. Unchallenged, unchanged in direction or purpose. The ocean smooths itself behind her, erasing wakes, swallowing sound, restoring the illusion that nothing happened here at all. But beneath the surface, the lesson remains. One torpedo was fired. It never reached its target, and the platform that launched it did not control the outcome of that day. Out here, that's all that needs to be said.